check this out. Obama.
My 93-year-old dad is iconic, but I want to introduce you to the real legend of the family, Elena. She lived with my family for about 30 years, and about 6 months ago, she decided it was time for her to move back to the Philippines. She got me ready for my first day of preschool, moved me into my college dorm and everything in between, so taking her back to the Philippines was something I could not have wanted to do more.
You're going to the Philippines?
Yes, I'm going to the Philippines. I have to take her home. It had been over 30 years since Nanny had last been to the Philippines. She sacrificed raising her son and daughter to get a job in America and send every dollar she could back home to her family. She is the hardest worker, and it's not an exaggeration to say that she's been through hell, yet somehow she's the smiliest, happiest person I have ever met. Before I knew it, it was time to head to LAX, and when I tell you I have never experienced a heartbreak like this before, God, I love this woman so much. The princess, as I like to call her, was of course chauffeured all around LAX. She made so many friends, we got a ton of snacks, and we were ready for the longest flight ever. We had a tearful goodbye to America. She thanked it for everything it had brought to her. I cursed it for not letting her stay forever. We held hands the majority of the flight, and before I knew it, we were in the Philippines. All sorts of things were going through my head at this point. Will Nanny's family take good care of her? Will they resent me? How will she fit in? Will she be homesick for America? I was so anxious, I cannot even tell you. Stay tuned for part 2, my time in the Philippines.
Now, if that wasn't bad enough, before she deleted the video, somebody had
Why she never get to visit home during those 30 years? That's crazy. Her immigration lawyers advised her not to and advised her kids not to visit. It was her decision to stay for as long as she did.
commented this and said, why did she never get to visit her home during the 30 years? That's crazy. Lexi replied back and said her immigration lawyers advised her not to and advised her kids not to visit. It was her decision to stay here as long as she did. That's wild.
What?
It is. Now imagine in the coming days, a bunch of legal eagles as well as immigration attorneys are going to come out and challenge this statement below. But tell me what you guys think of this story. How crazy is it that in 2023, people still have nannies who are separated from their families and at their late age get to go home?
Yeah, wait, what the hell? Lexi J? Who is that? American woman's tone-deaf video about returning her Filipino nanny back home after 30 years raises questions about the treatment of overseas Filipino workers. Yeah, what the fuck is like, oh, hugging her daughter for the first time in 30 years. Like, are you not paying her enough to go home? What the fuck? Um, in her apology, she basically said, "You don't know her like I know her, and I will always know my truth." Fucking rich people are so fucking stupid, dude. I want to kiss them. I want to sneak around and kiss them, and then run away and get away with it. A California family is facing major backlash after the daughter revealed in a TikTok video that her nanny returned home to the Philippines after working for her family for 30 years. What was meant to be a touching video of a reunion backfired, leading to a debate on migrant labor, exploitation, and the economic inequalities that drive individuals to make difficult sacrifices for their families. The TikTok video reveals the moment Lexi J's nanny reunited with her family in the Philippines. A popular influencer, Lexi J, begins her TikTok by explaining the impact her nanny, Elena, has had on her life. A ex-Navy man who was in the Philippines 30 years ago commented on a video saying he saw a lot of rich people leaving their vacation homes and bringing their maids with them. What the fuck? What the fuck? A pop She goes on to explain how Elena sacrificed being with her own children to work in America and provide for her family in the Philippines. Lexi says it had been over 30 years since Nanny had last been to the Philippines. She sacrificed raising her son and daughter to get a job in America and send every dollar she could back home to her family. She further explains, it's not an exaggeration to say that she's been through hell, yet somehow she's the smiliest, happiest person I've ever met. Oh my fuck. Later in the video, the two make their way through LAX airport and Lexi accompanies Elena to her flight to the Philippines. While on the plane, Elena thanks America for everything it had brought to her, while Lexi curses it for not letting her stay forever. Oh my god. What the fuck? There are no federal laws protecting domestic servants. This is individual servitude, and she's selling this as a cute story when it's an absolute tragedy.
My 93-year-old dad is iconic, but I want to introduce you to the real legend of the family. Family for about 30 years, and about 6 months ago she decided it was time for her to move back to the Philippines. She got me ready for my first day of preschool, moved me into my
Good Christ. This is indentured servitude. It is. What's up, Amber? Will Nanny's family take good care of her? Will they resent me? Will she fit in? Will she be homesick for America? Mentions Lexi in a voiceover paired with clips of them on the airplane. The two hold hands for the majority of the flight, and finally, after 30 years, Elena is reunited with her family. Wait, what do you mean 6 months?
And about 6 months ago, she decided it was time for her to move back to the Philippines.
Yeah, she decided 6 months ago she would move back. She waited. You're part of my family. We are your family. Bruh, she has a family. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Lexi faced a lot of backlash on her now deleted video from people who felt bad that Elena wasn't able to go home and see her family for over three decades. They questioned why she couldn't achieve a more secure immigration status during that time. One claims, this is indentured servitude, and she's selling this as a cute story when it's an absolute tragedy. Listen, if it was a problem for her to go back home because of her immigration status, that family who claims to have loved her should have helped her with their immigration status so she could visit home at least one time in 30 years. Holy shit. What the fuck? What in the goddamn hell? Or pay her enough so that she can go through the courts and get her immigration status changed. Oh my god, what am I looking at? Oh. What the fuck? Another stitched Lexi's TikTok with the caption, "You telling me there was no way she wasn't able to become a citizen considering she had to miss out on the lives of her children to take care of your family?" Oh my god. What is this one?
It for everything it had brought to her. I cursed it for not letting her stay forever. We held hands the majority.
So let me get this right. You had a stay-at-home nanny that worked for your family for 3 decades, yet you say America did not allow her to stay longer. So you're telling me within 30 years, no one helped her get a work visa so she could get a green card? If you Google it, the work visa can last up to 6 years, and then afterwards it can take up to 90 days to get a green card. So, but 30 years, you guys never helped her get citizenship, but she lived with you for 30 years? And now now America's making her go back? This doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right.
What the fuck? An additional TikTok user voiced their opinion in the video saying, "It's very sad to see that your parents didn't even provide a means for her to even get citizenship or even to go home more often." She goes on, "It really is like just an exploitation of power."
She lived with my family for about 30 years, and about 6 months ago,
I've like re-recorded this so many times because I just can't get all my thoughts into 60 seconds. But like, this is what I wrote my thesis on, and it's really interesting the way you're framing this as like oh my god, like he's finally going home after 30 years. Like, oh my god, yeah. Like, do you know how long 30 years is? 30 years is a long time. Like, it's very sad to see that your parents didn't even provide means for her to even get citizenship or even to go home more often. And this phenomenon is not exclusive to you. It's a very common thing with like majority, mainly like South Asian women, African women, and like Latin American women. And like the only white women I can say that also experience this kind of behavior is like women who are from Eastern Europe. So like Poles, Russians, like those kind of people. And it really is like just an exploitation of power. It really is the only way for the West to sustain itself. And it's really sad because like, you genuinely think this is a happy story. This is not a happy story. This is actually quite a sad story. Your family exploited this woman for 30 years. She had kids of her own. Her kids are probably resenting her. Her family probably they are grateful for like the money going home, but I spoke to kids like this. They miss their parents. They pray that their parents can come home. She didn't want to raise you.
What the fuck, dude? This is horrible. Lexi claims it was her nanny's decision to stay in America for 30 years. According to Lexi, it was her decision to stay here as long as she did, and Elena didn't visit home because her immigration lawyers advised her not to, and advised her kids not to visit. What the fuck were the immigration lawyers doing if she didn't have citizenship? There are many problems with the situation, but the root issue is that imperialism has forced people in impoverished countries to have no other choice but to take an opportunity like this when it comes along. People often make this sacrifice for their kids. Yes, it sucks, but living in poverty in the Philippines is worse, writes a user on Twitter. Oh my god, Twitter is so fucking numbskulled. Bro, they could have let her visit home. Which also is bad, by the way. Let me make sure that that's pretty clear. That is also bad. If they did the same thing, but they gave her like vacations every now and then to go home and visit her kids, that's also bad. But what they're saying is they took her from the Philippines 30 years ago. 30 years ago. Bro, none of you guys were even alive. And they didn't let her go home. Yeah, her immigration lawyers advised her not to. Bro, no shot. You are a rich person. You could have figured that out. Holy shit. Oh my god. Yes, the family is wrong for exploiting a system that forces migrants to work in servitude. But to make a change, we should focus our attention less on tearing down a girl who has had her nanny since childhood and more on dismantling what compels individuals to migrate and work under exploitative circumstances. Okay, this article just pissed me off. This is so fucking stupid. This girl is so fucking idiotic. She can't see that she had a fucking slave in her house for 30 years that didn't get to see her own family. Oh my god. This is a fucking tragedy, dude. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. 30 years. That's like if I didn't get to see my mom until like now. That's like if I never got to see my mom until like now. I cannot fucking imagine the way that these people feel. Holy god damn. This is... Oh my god, I can't believe this. Why would yourtango.com be defending this? Holy fuck. Okay, let's go to her TikTok and see if she has any videos about it. Talking about Elena, it's right here.
I grew up with a childhood nanny named Elena. Yesterday, I sat down and filmed a lengthy video going into the details of her immigration process as well as her employment. Before posting that video, I called Elena and shared it with her. She asked that I do not share those details of her life. Her word to me is the most important thing, and I will honor that. She reminded me that she and I know the truth of our relationship, that is what matters most, and that hateful people are not interested in understanding. I want to make it clear that I agree with how broken the immigration process is. Separately, I'd like to make it clear that Elena received a competitive wage for her work. Prior to her work with my family, she
A competitive wage for her work. Oh my god. 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 Yeah, we are not paying. We're exploiting her just as much as everyone else. Okay. Holy shit.
She worked with many other families within the US. I cannot speak to her sacrifices and decisions, but I will say that every year she continued to choose to work with my family. It was one of our biggest blessings. Elena is the most incredible human with the most incredible soul, and I could not be more proud to consider her one of the 3 pillars that raised me. All of my grandparents passed before I was born, so I cannot speak to that traditional relationship, but in my heart, she is that and then some. My relationship with Elena was normalized to me. She has been in my life since I was 3 weeks old. It is very, very painful to unpack why someone would end up as an undocumented citizen in America, but reducing her life and her story to nothing but pain and sadness.
It's so painful for me to think about how she ended up as an undocumented worker in America. It's so painful for me. Wow, how painful it is for me to think about that. Oh my god, these fucking people, dude. I just like every day I get one step closer to a fucking breaking point.
Sadness is untrue and disrespectful. She has a full life with hobbies and travel and friends. I understand that my tone was inappropriate considering the gravity of her story. I understand that when I share my life on social media, I am subjecting myself to criticism. I am always aiming to grow and become a better version of myself. I
want to find the fucking social media manager that wrote this apology for her and give him a fucking swirly, dude. This is so fucking annoying.
Deeply sorry for the ripple effect of hurt that my videos have caused. The spreading of false narratives on the internet can be extremely hurtful and dangerous to all involved. My relationship with her is ultimately something that I could not hold closer to my heart, and I apologize if me trying to share that came across insensitive, ingenuine, or negative and hurtful in any way, shape, or form. I grew up with a childhood.
Oh my god. It's fucking rich kids, dude. They get to do whatever they want. It's so... Oh, god. They don't care. They don't care about how they're affecting other people's lives, dude. Look at this girl. She grew up with a fucking personal nanny who was a undocumented worker from another country, did not give a shit about her and what she needed for her life, okay? Grew up and is just like a social media influencer now and just gets paid to do fuck all while the rest of us are breaking our fucking backs. Throw this girl into a fucking work camp. This is so annoying. Okay, where is there no other videos about it? Because it all got deleted. That's so stupid, dude. Talking about my dad, 5.4 mil. Actually, let's take a look at that. Talking about my dad. Let's see what your dad does. Let's hear what your dad does. Where is it? I saw it. Oh, talking about my dad.
My dad is 93. Let's talk about how it's impacted me. People always ask me if I worry about when he's gonna go. Full transparency, I used to. You have to understand that when I was 15, he turned 80. And I would say from ages like 15 to 22, I was like really always worked up that like this would be my last Christmas with him or like my last birthday with him. And then once he turned 88 and I saw like how solid he still is, I'm like, this man's going nowhere. Like I could relax. At a certain point,
It's because
I was, like,
old rich people get the best medical care in the country and don't have to worry about shit. Poor people die way younger.
I cannot spend my entire adult life being paranoid of when this man's gonna die. I have to enjoy him. People are also always like, what's your relationship with him? And I don't really know how to answer that because it's great, but it's the only father-daughter relationship I've ever known, so it's fully normal to me. I do think it's fair to say that our father-daughter activities were not so normal. Like, we never went to the beach. I think we rode bikes literally once, but he taught me how to play poker, and he taught me everything I know about jazz music, and he taught me how to be smart with my money, and he gave me so much wisdom. I'm super grateful for
So
him.
much
I would
money.
not change it for the world. My parents' age gap is 22 years, I believe. My mom had me naturally when she was 44, so she's also a legend for that. I never lived with any of my siblings. They all grew up together in the same house in Chicago. I grew up in Palm Springs, essentially an only child. My brothers are super cool. I love them dearly, but I would say that I am closer with their kids. We talk on more of a regular basis, and that's probably because I'm just a few years older than my nieces and my nephew. No, I do not think that I was a planned child. As far as my dating habits go, it's definitely made me much more open-minded to dating older men. My ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, my dad taught me how to be smart with the unlimited faucet of fucking money that comes to me. This is so annoying. What does your dad do? Why do you have the amount of money required to hold on to a fucking servant for 30 years? Hold on. Let's see if we can find this. Let's see if this is somewhere. Lexi J dad. Can't fucking type. Smart with her influencer money. Having my dad rate my outfits. Advice from my 93-year-old dad changed my life. More nanny videos. This Filipino nanny has not seen her child in 30 years, and you're telling us it's because she made a choice to stay and take care of you? Oh my god, dude.
So by now we have all heard about this creator and the nanny she had since birth or since childhood, and the excuses her family has told her, which exhibit A. So you mean to tell me that this woman has never seen her own baby because she just chose to stay nannying for your family? Take it from someone who's been a nanny before. Families will threaten you to make you stay. And for me, it never worked for me. I always left when I wanted to. But as for someone who's from a different country, it might not be that easy. I don't care what you say or what your family says to you. You're a grown woman. You have common sense. I bet they threatened her, and you can't prove me that they didn't. I'm sure you can't because you.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, God. And like when people are talking about like threatening, it's not like I'll kill you if you leave or something like that. Like, it's like if someone's like, oh, I'm thinking about trying to go home for a week or something, then they just go, oh, that would be so great for you. Unfortunately, if you do that, then I'll have to hire somebody new because we need somebody to take care of Lexi. And like that's the kind of threatening that probably took place, if it did. Also, she was always happy. She was in a place where she had no other options because you didn't pay her enough. Oh my god. And she lived with them. I'm gonna assume that's both because she had to work around the clock and also she probably didn't make enough money to pay for her own house. Could have also been included in her pay, that like, oh, like we have to pay you like a little less because we're paying for your food and housing and stuff. Like, it's just, this is a fucking tragedy. If you leave, they might not let you come back, and who will do everything? We need you. Exactly. 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 I don't know. I don't think that we're gonna find what her dad does on here, and I honestly, I don't fucking care. I don't care. Like, I want to know so I can be like, you're a fucking loser, like, who has a rich dad, like, go fuck yourself. But that's not gonna be helpful to any of us. I'm still gonna be mad about it.